Today, we are cracking open the mind of Ryland Grace from Project Hail Mary. We're going to map his entire psychological journey from a guy with no memory to a legit hero, all through the amazing lens of internal family systems. Let's get into it.
But hang on, let me ask you something first. If your mind was a spaceship, hurtling through the cosmos, who's really in the captain's chair? Is it a calm, cool, collected leader? Or is it total chaos on the bridge, with different parts of you constantly grabbing for the controls? Just keep that question in your head, because for Ryland Grace, the answer is, well, it's pretty complicated. So, here's our flight plan. We're going to start with the pure chaos in his head, then meet his internal defense system. After that, we'll uncover the primal fear he's hiding, watch his true self rise up, and finally, track his incredible journey from being broken apart to becoming whole. Okay, Section 1, Chaos in the Cockpit. This is where it all begins for Grace. He's not just waking up alone in a spaceship. He's completely lost inside his own mind. It is an absolute battlefield in there. You see, what's so fascinating here is that his amnesia, it isn't just some weird side effect of being frozen. If you look at it through the internal family systems framework, it's actually a massive psychological defense mechanism. His whole internal system slams the big red emergency button to protect him from a reality so terrifying it would just shatter him. And that brings us right to Section 2, the internal defense system. To really get what's going on, we need to meet the crew, right? The different parts of his psyche that have taken over command to stop the whole ship from imploding. First on deck are the firefighters. Now you can think of these as the psyche's emergency first responders. The second a painful feeling flares up, like a fire, they don't think, they don't negotiate, they just crash in with something extreme to put that fire out, right now. And Grace, oh yeah, he's got two of these working overtime. First is what we'll call the head-in-the-sand ostrich. This part is the one triggering the amnesia. It's literally burying his head in the sand so he can't see the blinding terror of his situation. And then, as some memories start to trickle back, the spiked hedgehog pops up. It just lashes out, shooting these sharp quills of anger and blame at Stratt to cover up how completely helpless he feels. But it's not all just chaos and reaction. He's also got managers on his crew. These parts are the planners. They're proactive. Their entire job is to organize his life, his thoughts, his day-to-day, to make sure those painful feelings never even get a chance to spark. And Grace's lead manager? It's the scientist fox. This is the part of him we see the most, the part we know and love. The super logical, problem-solving science teacher who just gets to work, analyzing astrophage, calculating gravity, just trying to figure out how to survive. It's brilliant, methodical, and seems like it's totally in control. But here's the secret mission of the Fox. All that frantic activity, all those calculations, it isn't just about saving the human race. It's about distracting Grace from himself. By keeping him completely buried in work, it makes sure there are no quiet moments for his deepest, darkest fears to creep out of the shadows. So that leads to the big question in Section 3, the primal fear. What are all these parts, the ostrich, the hedgehog, the fox, all working so hard to protect? What exactly is locked away down in the psychological cargo hold of this ship?
Well, it's a part that in IFS is called the exile. This is a really young, vulnerable part of us that holds our deepest wounds, the pain, the shame, the trauma. The entire internal system basically organizes itself around one single goal: keep this exile locked away at all costs, so its pain doesn't flood the system and overwhelm everything.
And Grace's exile? It's a trembling rabbit. This is the little part of him that holds the huge, profound shame from his past. Its core belief is simple. I'm a coward. This part remembers he wasn't some brave volunteer. This is the part of him that was terrified of a suicide mission, said no, and had to be drugged and forced onto the ship to save the world. But a system that's just based on control and suppression, it can't last forever. Which brings us to Section 4, the wise owl rises. In the middle of all this internal chaos, a new leader slowly starts to emerge, the true captain of the soul. In IFS, this is called the self. Let's picture it as a wise owl. The self is your core essence, and it's full of amazing qualities like compassion, curiosity, calmness, and connection. It doesn't need to bully or trick the other parts into listening. It's the natural-born, confident leader of the entire internal family. So how does Grace find his self? This is so important. It doesn't awaken through force or willpower. It's sparked by connection.
We see little glimmers of it when he remembers his students, but it fully awakens, it really comes online through his friendship with Rocky. His genuine curiosity and deep compassion for this alien friend is what lets the wise owl finally take its perch and see clearly.
And that leads us to our final section, Section 5, From Fragmentation to Wholeness. This is the story of Grace's internal healing, a journey that's every bit as epic as his trip across the stars. I mean, just look at the difference here. Before, his internal crew was basically at war with itself. The fox was distracting, the ostrich was hiding, the hedgehog was attacking, all of them desperately trying to keep that trembling rabbit locked away. But after integration, the wise owl is in the captain's chair. It leads with compassion. It doesn't lock the rabbit away, it actually listens to its fears. And the brilliant scientist fox is finally free to use its intellect not as a distraction, but in service of the entire unified crew. And this all culminates in Grace's final incredible choice to give up his own ticket home, his own safety, to go back and save Rocky. This decision is the ultimate proof that he's healed. It's not made by the terrified rabbit, it's not made by the distracting fox. It's made by the wise owl, from a place of deep, connected, integrated wholeness. In the end, the transformation is just total. The wise owl, his true self, finally embraces the trembling rabbit, accepting all its fear and shame without any judgment. The internal war is over. The entire crew is at peace, achieving a kind of harmony that's almost unbelievable, especially when you remember he's the last human alive in a galaxy far, far from home. Which brings us right back to that first question, doesn't it? We've just mapped out the entire crew inside Ryland Grace's mind. So now, what about yours? Who's sitting in your captain's chair, and is your wise owl ready to spread its wings?